So good morning everyone. Today we will learn about the palatine tonsils. Human body consists of multiple lymphoid tissues. The primary are thymus and bone marrow. Secondary are lymph nodes, lymphoid follicles in the tonsils, Peyer's patches, spleen, adenoid, and skin. Tertiary lymphoid tissues are distributed groups of lymphatics. Tonsils are masses of lymphoid tissue and forms an important part of our immune system located at the gateway of respiratory and digestive tract. They act as a first line of defense against ingested or inhaled pathogens. There are four types of tonsils arranged in a ring around the pharynx called as Walde's ring. Particularly, palatine tonsil is an ovoid mass which is of almond shape. It is of lymphoid tissue located in the oropharynx between anterior and posterior pillars. So what is this anterior and posterior pillar? Anterior pillar is the palatoglossal arch formed by the palatoglossus muscle, while the posterior pillar is the palatopharyngeal arch formed of palatopharyngeus muscle. As its name suggests, the palatoglossus means the arch extending from here the palatoglossal arch, the arch extending from palate to the glossus. Glossus means tongue, while the arch extending from the palate to the pharynx, this is palatopharyngeal arch. In between these two arches, there is presence of the palatine tonsil. Here in this slide, we can clearly see this palatoglossus arch and palatopharyngeal arch. Here is greenish palatine tonsil in between these two arches. So, as we said, the palatine tonsil is present between the oropharynx. In this slide, we can see the clear-cut dividation between the nasopharynx. Here is the oropharynx and here is the laryngopharynx. Here is again arch, palatoglossal arch and palatopharyngeal arch. In between these arches, there is presence of the palatine tonsil. The palatine tonsil has medial surface and lateral surface. The medial surface is lined by the stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, which is also important MCQ, which deeps into the crypts. There are 12 to 15 crypts present. Secondary crypts arises from the primary crypts and extend into the substance of tonsil. One of the crypts located in the upper part are larger than the rest, called as crypta magna. It represents the ventral part of the second pharyngeal pouch. The crypts serve to increase the surface area of the tonsil. Crypts may be filled with the cheesy material, that is, epithelial debris, food particles and bacteria. The lateral surface of the tonsil, it is covered by the fibrous capsule. The tonsillar bed, it is separated from the capsule by loose areolar tissue. This makes it easy to dissect the tonsil from its bed during tonsillectomy. It is the site of collection of pus in peritonsillar abscess, which is also called as quinsy. Some fibers of palatoglossus and palatopharyngeal gets attached to the capsule of the tonsil. The palatine tonsil has upper pole and lower pole. First we will see about the upper pole. The upper pole, it extends into the soft palate. There is a semilunar fold of mucous membrane which covers the medial part of the upper tonsil. It extends from anterior pillar to the posterior pillar. It encloses a potential space called as supratonsillar fossa. Then about the lower pole, it is attached to the tongue. It is a triangular fold of mucous membrane extend from the anterior tonsillar pillar to the lower pole. It encloses a space anterior tonsillar space. The lower pole is separated from the tongue by the tonsillolingual sulcus. This sulcus may harbor carcinoma. Then about the bed of the tonsil. It is formed by superior constrictor muscle and styloglossus. Here is the superior constrictor which forms the bed of the tonsil, while this is the styloglossus muscle, and here is the palatine tonsil. In this figure again we can see this is the superior constrictor muscle. Here is the styloglossus extending from the styloid process, and here is the palatine tonsil. Then the structures related to the bed of the tonsil. Tonsil is separated from its bed by loose areolar tissue. Superior constrictor muscle and styloglossus muscle forming the bed of the tonsil. And other structures related are styloid process if it is enlarged, then glossopharyngeal nerve, facial artery, submandibular salivary gland, posterior belly of the digastric, medial pterygoid muscle at the angle of mandible. In this figure we can see the structure present at the bed of the tonsil. This is pharyngobasilar fascia. Here is the superior constrictor muscle. This is buccopharyngeal fascia. Here is the medial pterygoid muscle. This is angle of mandible, and this is the submandibular salivary gland. Then about the blood supply of the tonsil. Tonsil is supplied by branches of the external carotid artery. Its main supply is by the tonsillar branch of the facial artery. Then ascending palatine branch of the facial artery. Ascending pharyngeal branch of the external carotid artery. Dorsal lingual branch of the lingual artery. Descending palatine branch of the maxillary artery. Here are the branches. The branch of the maxillary artery, that is greater palatine artery. This is ascending pharyngeal branch of the tonsillar artery. This is the other tonsillar branches of the facial artery. Then venous drainage. Blood from the tonsil drains into the paratonsillar vein, which in turn drains into the common facial vein and pharyngeal venous plexus. In lymphatic drainage, lymphatics from the tonsils pierce the superior constrictor muscle and drains into the upper cervical lymph nodes, especially jugulodigastric means tonsillar lymph nodes. Enlarged non-tender jugulodigastric lymph node is a sign of chronic tonsillitis. Here are the jugulodigastric lymph nodes. These are jugulo-omohyoid nodes. These are supraclavicular nodes. Then nerve supply of the palatine tonsil. It is supplied by lesser palatine branch of the spinopalatine ganglion and glossopharyngeal nerve. Here you can see the glossopharyngeal nerve. Here is the lesser palatine branch and here is the greater palatine branch. Then what are the functions of tonsil? It has a protective function in that it prevents the entry of pathogens through the nasal and oral route. The crypts on the surface of tonsil serve to increase the surface area and increase the efficacy of protection against pathogens. It forms a part of the Walde's lymphatic ring. Then about the applied importance. The inflammation of tonsil is called as tonsillitis. Tonsil prevents infection. Infected tonsils act as a septic focus. Damage of the paratonsillar vein during the tonsillectomy leads to excessive venous hemorrhage. Damage to the glossopharyngeal nerve leads to loss of taste sensation. Infected tonsillar pain may be referred to middle ear because of same nerve supply. Then the types of tonsillitis. Tonsillitis is nothing but the inflammation of the tonsil. It is of acute, chronic, bacterial, viral, follicular, catarrhal, membranous, parenchymatous tonsillitis. This is slide showing the follicular tonsillitis. It is an inflammation of the tonsil and their crypts. The onset is sudden and tonsil will appear red, white, pus spots over the swollen tonsil. These are the pus spots. Then parenchymatous tonsillitis. When the whole tonsil is uniformly congested and swollen, it is called as acute parenchymatous tonsillitis. This is the inflamed tonsil. Then membranous tonsillitis. Sometimes exudation from the crypts may coalesce to form membrane over the surface of the tonsil, giving rise to membranous tonsillitis. This is whitish membrane over the tonsil. Then catarrhal tonsil. When tonsils are inflamed as a part of generalized infection of the pharyngeal mucosa, it is called as catarrhal tonsils. Then tonsillectomy, it is an operation for the removal of inflamed tonsil. Then about the development of the tonsil. The tonsil develops in a region of second pharyngeal pouch. The cells of endodermal lining of pouch proliferate and grow out as a solid columns or buds into the surrounding mesenchyme. The central portion of these cells columns are canalized and forms tonsillar clefts. The lymphoid cells from the surrounding mesenchyme accumulate around the crypts and differentiate into lymphoid follicles. The remnants of second pharyngeal pouch is seen as supratonsillar or intratonsillar cleft. Then about the histology of the palatine tonsils. Its oral surface is lined by stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. This is stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium, which dips into the underlying tissues to form the crypts. The presence of lymphatic nodule on the sides of the crypts. The presence of mucus glands in the deeper plane. Thank you.